nursing student here at the clinic. Today I'm just going to be going over what brings you here. Going to ask you a few questions and see how you're doing. So, can you tell me right away why you're at the clinic today?
Um, I guess my my friends and family don't really think I'm acting like my normal self. I don't know if I necessarily see it, but I guess there's just been some changes in my life that are affecting
Um,
certain things.
what's been what's been different in your life?
I don't feel like I live my life in the way I used to, like as fully or as myself. I feel like held back kind of.
Do you have you had any recent um, significant events happen in your life? Anything that's been stressing or
Well, I have regular stressors at my job and things like that, but there hasn't been any like big changes in my life. I mean, I still live in the same place alone and
have you been feeling sad lately?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be sadness. Sometimes I feel kind of like gutted and like there's just nothing in me, but I don't necessarily have actual like feelings of, oh, I'm sad.
How long have you been feeling this way?
It's hard to say for sure. Um, like I said, I wouldn't probably be here unless it was my family, without my family. But I think that I certainly have felt that kind of like I've been held back or whatever. I mean, every day for some time now. I mean, not years or anything by any means, but
Would you say that it's been longer than a week,
yeah,
longer than 2 weeks,
yeah.
but not a year?
No, no,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Do you feel like this almost every day?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't had any changes. I just kind of have this heaviness all the time.
Um, what about things that you used to like to do? What are some of your hobbies?
It's hard. Well, I mean, I used to do a lot of really more active things and go out more with friends and family, but I just haven't had a lot of energy to do that kind of thing lately. I mean, nothing sounds fun. Like even even like my favorite teas and pops, I don't even like them as much as I used to. It's
Uh,
just like everything's like gray.
have you been sleeping well?
No, no, I struggle to fall asleep at night, and then when I have to wake up in the morning, I'm just tired, and I would think that I could then fall asleep tomorrow, the next day better, but I don't. I still am awake and feel like I'm a slug bug going through the day.
Do you ever not sleep for an entire night?
The way my mind races when I try to sleep, it doesn't feel like I ever achieve sleep.
What's the longest amount of time that you've gone without sleeping and not felt tired the next day?
I'd say it's been over a month or two for sure. Um, I don't think that I'm actually not sleeping per se because I could still stay awake through the whole day and stuff. I just don't have the same energy. I feel like I don't get the amount of rest I used to get.
So you're sleeping, you're just not feeling rested.
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't realize I'm finally falling into sleep by the time I do.
Do you ever sleep excessively?
Yeah, I mean, if I don't have to go to work one day, I would much rather just stay in my bed all day and be in there with the shades pulled and my phone on silent. Absolutely.
What's the longest, how many hours have you slept without waking up? in one day?
Sometimes it, hmm. Sometimes I think I sleep for, 12 hours or so, but I might stay in my bed for much longer than that because I just don't have energy. I just, like I said, I just feel like a slug going through my life.
Have you been feeling um, that your appetite is normal, or would you say it's the same, or
Well, I've always, you know, enjoyed eating, but um, I feel like I've definitely been eating more. Um, not in like, not in like a way that I think is unhealthy, but certainly my food choices haven't been as good as normal, and I think I've gained 15 pounds over the last 3 months, which is unlike me. I don't usually have weight shifts, but I haven't, really thought about that until I've realized my clothing have definitely been a little bit different.
do you ever feel upset easily or easily angered?
Mm. Well, at home, not so much because it's just me there, but um, I guess at work, um, I don't know if other people necessarily see it, but I feel like I'm just annoyed at the smallest thing, whereas I typically, can kind of handle stress easier than this. I mean, I have a master's degree. I like to deal with people, but I just feel more edgy and kind of like I get a snottiness about me that I normally wouldn't always have.
What about at work? Do you feel, or at work and in your normal personal life, do you feel like um, you have difficulty thinking or concentrating or carrying out tasks that you used to be able to do, but not so much anymore?
I'm certainly not able to critically think as much. My mind feels restrained, I guess. I can still do day to day stuff, but I know I'm not as productive as I used to be when a year ago or so. And this is the first time that I can really say that because I've really been high achieving up until now when I've just felt muted.
Would you say that other people have noticed a change in your mood?
I think that's the core thing. I think I didn't really even realize all of this was going on because it's kind of snuck up on me until my family said something to me, and I think that they've been noticing some stuff for a while because it was my parents and siblings that said something. And until you're asking me these more specific questions, it didn't really occur to me that this was all really going on.
You mentioned your family, or would you say that you're close with your family?
Hmm, I think that we have a typical relationship, though I think we maybe argue more than other families, perhaps.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yep, I have a brother and a sister.
Are your parents still alive?
Yep, both of them are alive. They're actually surprisingly still married.
How was your childhood growing up with your brothers and sisters and your parents? Were there any problems, anything that you would say is out of the ordinary?
I would say that we maybe saw light forms of fighting between my parents. Both of my siblings have a typical relationship where we get along. But we've certainly had disagreements, but nothing that would keep us from seeing one another. I mean, ultimately, despite all that, they're certainly supportive of me, and
Would you say that then your childhood and your adolescent years were pretty normal?
yeah, absolutely. I got to do fun things. I was involved in lots of activities through school. And I mean, I never really had a lot of stressors in my life, and was outside of daily things going on.
Would you say that you ever been abused by anybody?
No, I don't. I don't have a history of abuse. I mean, I've had breakups and things that have ended badly, but nothing that would fall under anything that I've ever felt like, scared or anything like that.
So you have dated. Are you currently dating?
No, like I said earlier, sometimes I just like to go home and don't have a lot of energy for a lot of other things.
What about school? You mentioned you have a master's degree.
Yeah.
What is your current
I
profession and what did you go to school for?
well, I work in a human resource office, and I have a master's of business administration, and so I have to work with people a lot, which is sometimes kind of exhausting, especially when I haven't had energy.
Current living situation. What about that? Do you live alone or?
Yeah, I live alone. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so you mentioned that you're feeling sad, you feel gutted, your family pretty much noticed it, and that's why you're here today. Um, Going a little bit deeper, have you ever had feelings of like worthlessness or like hopelessness or helplessness?
I think that I can see that there's, a worth. I mean, I fill a position at work, but I mean, sometimes when I take an outside look at my life and see I'm a person in my 30s living alone and not meeting new people. Sometimes that's kind of a hopeless thing. I mean, and sometimes I have a little bit of stuckness and like nothing's gonna change. I don't know if that's hopelessness or not, but
Have you ever had problems with your self-esteem in the past?
not until I couldn't fit in the pants inside and get my weight gain. I mean, no, I mean, right now I guess I wouldn't necessarily consider myself confident by any means, but I think I feel worse about myself now than I have ever before.
Do you think that weight is a major factor in how you're feeling, or is that just something on the side?
I think it's more related to not feeling like I'm living my life. I'm just heavy and just going through the motions and just vacant, I guess. I don't know.
Have you ever um, have you ever eaten a lot of food when you feel sad and then felt guilty about it? Or do you eat a lot of food when you're upset and it's the only thing that you know that'll make
I
you feel better?
certainly, I certainly do comfort eat. Yeah, I do that. I mean, it doesn't comfort me, but I do find myself eating more when I'm like those days I was telling you about where I might spend long periods of time alone in my room at home on weekends. I will be likely to take in, way more calories than I should, and I recognize that, but it kind of is the only thing that makes me feel okay.
Have you ever purposely restricted your food for extended periods of time or ever purposely thrown up your food?
No, um, I have done diets where I've been, intentionally eating healthy foods or monitoring my calories, but nothing that would put me at risk or anything. No, and I've definitely never thrown my food out.
Have you ever had any thoughts of wanting to hurt yourself in any way?
Like suicide?
Suicidal thoughts or
Mm.
just maybe?
No, I haven't ever felt suicidal. I felt, recently I felt kind of monotonous or pointless, but I couldn't do that to my family, the suicide part. I mean, I could go on like this for a long time before I would ever be able to do something like that to other people in my life and my cat.
Um, what about when when you were in high school and college, did you ever have these same kind of symptoms, or is this the first time you're kind of feeling like this?
Well, when I was in college, I struggled adjusting to things. Um, I did end up going to like a student counselor for 3 sessions to help me kind of figure out my major and that kind of thing. But I didn't feel like this. I mean, I felt kind of confused, but I think that was part of figuring out who I was. Whereas this is different. I mean, I could go through and do things that were normal without feeling like lethargic and stuff.
How would you say that your health is right now? Would you say that you're physically healthy?
I don't exercise as much as I am used to at all. Um,
Do you have any medical problems?
no, no. I mean, I recently had a full physical, and there was nothing wrong with my blood work or anything like that. I'm not taking any prescriptions at this point.
Have you ever taken any prescriptions to help with your mood?
Not at this time, no, not yet. My mom does take an antidepressant for on a day-to-day basis, and I guess I've never really talked to her about that. I just know because I've seen that medicine at their home.
Do you know what she takes?
I'm not sure. I don't remember at this point.
How long has she been taking that?
Um, I think it would be as long as I can remember, I guess. No, I mean, I can't say for sure.
Is the medication for her mood, or is it for some other thing?
I think it's for mood. I think that was kind of part of that fighting that I told you about in my childhood. I think there was just some wonky things in their relationship, but I'm really not privy to a lot of that information, or nor have I chosen to ask her about that.
Do you know if anybody else in your family has ever struggled with feeling sad, or has any other kind of
I
mental
believe that
illness?
my maternal grandma has,
She had
though
what?
that sadness kind of stuff. Um, but I don't know that anything like was used or medicine or anything like that.
Okay.
No. Hmm.
Um, have you ever had a surgery or an operation?
No, no surgeries at this point.
Do you have any allergies to medications, environmental allergies, food allergies?
I'm allergic to seafood and latex.
Anything else in your medical history that you would say is significant?
Let's see here. Hmm. I don't think so. I mean, I had asthma as a child, but it has not been a significant factor since I was in middle school. I kind of grew out of that.
Would you say that was probably exercise-induced asthma? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, I think when I was young, my parents used to smoke as well. So I think when they quit, a lot of those symptoms kind of quit.
So you don't use a rescue inhaler right now?
I have never used a rescue inhaler.
Okay. Um, what about alcohol? How much alcohol do you use?
Hmm. I only drink on occasion. I'd say I maybe drink once every 3 months or so. But when I do, it ends up being on those days where maybe I've been in my room all day and I might drink sometimes a whole bottle of wine.
Have you ever drank more than a bottle of wine?
No, no, I could never do that.
Have you ever drank so much that you didn't remember what happened that night?
I don't know if I never had a blackout or anything like that. I mean, in college I'd once thrown up from drinking, but that hasn't ever happened in my adult life.
Do your parents or anybody in your family have any problems with substance abuse?
I think that there are some recovering alcoholics, my aunt and my grandpa, but other other than that, I think it's been mostly just social use.
Have you ever been in any legal trouble?
Nope. Nope. I haven't had any legal trouble at this point.
A couple more questions. You mentioned that you had previously dated but aren't currently seeing anybody. Are you sexually active?
No, no. I haven't even felt like any desire really. I just not like no interest in sexual partners or interest in sex itself or masturbation or anything.
Do you do you take birth control for any other reason? Some people sometimes take birth control for um,
hmm I just have my IUD in place because it was something that I was doing when I was dating more a year or two ago, and now it's just there, and I don't notice it, and nor do I have any side effects from it that I'm aware of.
so you say it got placed about what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, I'd say 2.5, and I've enjoyed that for regulating my menstrual cycle and that kind of thing, and I mean I had a very normal sex drive on it, so I don't perceive that to be, what's impacting the sex drive for me.
A couple more questions about your mood. Do you ever feel like you worry more than other people?
I think I'm a naturally high strung person. I certainly worry more than the normal person. I feel sometimes like I can't unwind my body, but more times than not, it's not that I feel nervous or anything like that. It's more that just like I'm carrying around a 50-pound weight behind me.
Do you worry about things that are unlikely to happen? Like,
Let's see. I worry about being alone. Let's see.
have you ever had a panic attack?
No, I've never had a panic attack. I would do worry about like my potential and my ability to be successful in life, but I think that's kind of something I should worry about.
Are you okay in social situations? Like when you go out with your friends, do you feel comfortable around groups of people?
Yeah, I mean, if I have the energy to leave my unit, um, yeah, absolutely. I like being social. I mean, that used to be the thing that makes me feel most alive, really. I mean, but right now it's a drag to even get to the grocery store and get through all the aisles to get everything I need.
Okay. So, I think that's about all the questions that I have.
Okay.
It kind of sounds like you've just been having a tough time for the last month or so. Um, some options that we do have. Um, you mentioned that you saw a counselor before for 3 sessions. I think that following up with either that counselor if she's available or another counselor through our clinic would be a good idea on an individual level, maybe once a week for a while, and then we can revisit and see how you're feeling. Would you be open to taking any medications, or would you feel opposed to those at this time?
I mean, if it means like having energy again and being able to do the hobbies I really like, I would be open to it. But I think it's something that I mean I'm not I don't need to start it today unless it's something that you think is gonna help in these symptoms and
Well,
stuff.
well, what I think is that if you've ever heard of Prozac or fluoxetine, it's a really good choice for people who have been feeling down, don't have energy, um, and you're not really having a lot of anxiety. So I think Prozac would be an appropriate choice for you. Um, we'd probably start you out at 20 milligrams and see how that goes, and then you could visit with me in a month and we can talk about how things have been going.
And I'm certainly open to that. I think, it took a lot for my family to say something to me, and as they did, and as we talked today, I think I certainly noticed a lot more things going on that maybe I wasn't noticing before. So, I mean, if we're gonna, I mean, I'm open to trying anything that might make me feel more myself.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and try the Prozac. We can get it started today, and then we'll see you back here in about a month and we'll re-talk. All right?
Okay, thank
Thanks.
you.